So, my name is Victoria Trezona. I'm the hospital librarian at Rowntree Library and the liaison for the neurology department at Kornhauser Health Sciences Library. And the learning objectives of this presentation are to identify library services and how to access these services, as well as identify key features of several popular library databases. So the library services that we provide are embedded services. So attending departmental meetings, I attend the case conferences on Tuesdays and the grand rounds on Thursdays. Um, and this is a time where I could offer point of need support. So any questions you have about accessing articles or literature requests, we provide research assistance at the library. So consultations, literature searching, resource recommendations, and as well as a little bit more. Yeah. We also provide collaboration on evidence synthesis and professional guidelines. And if there's any more questions you have, just ask. So this is Kornhauser Health Sciences Library. It's located on 540 South Preston Street on the 55D building. So the building that's to the immediate left of the Baxter building. It's located on the second floor of the building. And so the first floor is there's study spaces, there's spaces where you could reserve rooms. And there's also on the second floor, it's more of the quiet study spaces and the physical book collection as well. Here's the library website. So there's information where you could contact librarians, research databases and point of care tool, and study room reservations, as well as interlibrary loan. And so to access the website on a web browser, you would type in library.louisville.edu/Kornhauser. You have access to the library the resources through your U-Link, so you're able to sign in from home, the hospital, or anywhere. And here's time to have the CME code. So here is an example of our library website at Kornhauser. You can find information about today's hours, the location. We have the top links with the resources to the databases, help and services, clinical resources. For each of our schools, we have resources that are particular for the School of Medicine, dental, nursing. We also have a link to REDCap, which is a survey tool that you can build surveys for your research. So resources about tutorials of how to download REDCap and how to use REDCap. There's also the link to the hospital library, which is a separate library that we'll discuss some of the resources later in the presentation. So when you click on the top links, you'll be able to see access to databases and that are available at the Kornhauser collection, as well as some of the resources that you can use for specific research projects or neurology. We have the AZ list of databases. So if you're looking for a particular database and you know the name of the database, you can search for it. There's the health sciences database, so you'll have access to Kornhauser, the EBSCO Health Sciences catalog, as well as MedSurg One, which is Neurology One, which is a database for images and procedures for neurosurgery. There's also point of care tools, including UpToDate and as well as Visual DX. There's also databases that you can use for specific research projects, including JAMA Evidence, and this is where you'll also find access to PubMed as well. The Health and Services tab on our library website provides information about the space at Kornhauser, so you can find information about printing, you can find information about REDCap support, as well as our hours. The clinical resources are available as well. So there's resources for particular medical specialties like critical care, neurology. There's subject guides as well. So you'll be able to access subject guides on related to medicine, including our diversity hub, our LGBTQ resources, as well as our uh, information about conducting systematic reviews. We also have great resources on evidence-based practice, which is if you're looking for information on critical appraisal tools, including how to form a research question, those are available as well as our IRB page. So if you're conducting research, this is a great resource where you can find information on IRB or applying for the IRB and as well as if you qualify for any of the exemptions. So looking at our neurology page in particular, you have access to point of care tools, drug resources, and databases for neurology, including JAMA Evidence, PubMed. We also have the Cochrane Library of Systematic Reviews. So if you're doing a research project and you're looking for specifically for systematic reviews, this would be a great resource. We have highlighted journals and ebooks as well. So this is an example of the page from the Kornhauser Health Sciences Library. If you know the title of the article that you're interested in researching, you can enter the title of the article and you'll be able to access it from the browser on our webpage. So for example, with the American Heart Association standards for post-acute stroke rehabilitation care, I'm able to find this by typing it on the search tab on the Kornhauser Library page. It'll direct you to this page as well. You'll be able to access the full text of the article, and you'll be able to access the article and download the article as well. This is the advanced search feature on the Kornhauser Library page. So under the main search tab, you'll be able to use the advanced search. And rather than just typing in the title of the article, if you have specific search terms that you would want to use or combine, you'll be able to do that with the advanced search. And the search website uses Boolean logic, in which you're able to combine specific search terms. So for example, for this example in particular, I used ischemic stroke and heart disease. Oh. So if you're searching on the using the advanced search terms, you'll be able to combine the terms that you're looking for. When you're using and, you're limiting the terms that the results that you're going to get. You're not going to get all the articles with ischemic stroke and all the articles with heart disease. You're only going, with this specific search term, you're only going to get the search results for ischemic stroke and heart disease. And I wanted to highlight some of these Boolean operators because many of the major databases on the Kornhauser Science Library and with PubMed and Web of Science use this particular way of searching. So before we get into some of the major databases on the library, I wanted to include the CME code. So take a moment to get the code. All right, so I wanted to go into detail about more of the databases that are available on the Kornhauser Health Science Library. So a database may broadly index literature in a research domain or focus on one particular specialty. The unified search allows to search multiple databases in our library catalog at the same time. So you can search for more than one for more comprehensive understanding of your topic and to minimize the selection bias. So some of the databases that we have available on the website are PubMed, APA PsycInfo. TRIP is a great resource if you're looking for clinical guidelines, and Clinical Key as well. One of the other resources that I wanted to highlight for this presentation was Browsing, which is an app where it's more of a database for journals. So if you're looking for a specific articles from a particular journal, such as Neurology, you'll be able to access it or search by journal title on Browsing. It's also an app you can download on your phone, so you don't necessarily need a computer to be at a computer at the library to download. So the Browsing has a collection of health sciences, but also social sciences and humanities journals. So if you're looking for a particular journal, for example, I use the example Neurology. So this is great because you're able to access the collection of the of the articles from the journal Neurology from the past 10 years. So from 2025 to 2016. And with this feature, you're able to automatically download and access the articles as well. So you don't need to go through any paywalls to access the articles from Browsing. And if you're, for example, if you're doing a systematic review and you want to keep track of the journals that you're doing for or using for your research project, you can and organize them in a library. So I have just an example of the neurology journals, the stroke journals, and you can organize them in bookcases and bookshelves. And for this example, I had only a few journals, but as you can see, you can have many, many different journals for creating a library. Of course, I wanted to highlight PubMed. Who's familiar with PubMed? You've used it for research before. So PubMed is the database from the National Library of Medicine. It comprises of more than 38 million citations for biological literature from Medline, life science journals, and online books. So it uses the same kind of Boolean logic that the Kornhauser library page has. So you're combining search terms. If you don't want to type out a whole search string on PubMed, there's also an advanced search option. So you can put in the title of the abstract or search by author or search by, if you just want the term in the title of the title of the results of the search, that's available too. So I had just a simple term or search example, dementia and heart disease. So when I put this in the query box, I'm able to combine it with the terms and. So maybe you want articles, dementia or heart disease, or dementia, not heart disease. So using those Boolean operators, you'll be able to specify exactly where you want the search terms to appear, whether in the title of the abstract. What's nice about this feature as well with the advanced search in PubMed is you're able to save the results. So say you're doing a research search and you have a very long search string and you want to save it, so you don't want to have to retype it over again, you'll be able to download this from PubMed. And so here's an example of the results I was able to get from my search. Of course, it's a very large topic, so there's over 1,500 results. If you want to narrow down the results, you can narrow it down by time. So it could be within the past 10 years. Maybe you want articles even with the past 1 year. You'll be able to do that with PubMed. If you want to have the full text of the articles, you'll be able to limit that on your search as well as the abstract as well. It might be a little bit hard to see, but if you have specific article types, that's another way to narrow the results on PubMed. So if you just want articles on systematic reviews or you're looking for case studies, I know some of the literature requests, they're pretty particular with what sort of study that they're looking for. So on the top links page, you'll be able to see PubMed, where you can find PubMed on the Kornhauser Health Sciences website. And it's really useful to use PubMed from the website because if you're not logged into your Ulink account, you often face paywalls. So you don't have to, so please don't pay $49 every time you see an article that you need. And this is the same example of the article that I was able to access to the Kornhauser website. So rather than seeing all of this and seeing all the paywalls, you'll be able to just click on the PDF and access the PDF. The next, the final database that I just wanted to highlight really quickly from the Kornhauser Health Science Library page is Web of Science, which is a citation index of humanities, social sciences, and science journals. This is unique, where unique research in which you can create analysis and visualizations to see how many times a article has been cited within a field. And of course, you can determine the time period as well. And you can see how the citations of different publications over time has changed. So this is very similar to our interface of our Kornhauser Health Science Library database. You'll be able to, you can search all of the databases, or you can search just the science collection of Web of Science. You can search by topic, title, author, abstract, and of course, it's just with this one, the first part of the page, it's just a general search. And then similar to PubMed, there's an advanced search option as well. And so when similar to PubMed, this uses Boolean operators, so you're able to specify the if you want the search terms in the title, abstract, or the text, and you're able to combine those with the operators. So in this example, I had ischemic stroke and heart disease. So the articles that are going to appear, they're going to have that combination of the terms. So here is what the results, and of course, there's over 30,000 results. So there's different ways where you can narrow the results as well, where you can refine it. So it's within the date range that you want. You can also look at highly cited papers. So if you're looking for the most cited paper in a field, you're able to do that. You're also able to find the open access journals within this resource as well. And what is unique about Web of Science is that you're able to see the current article that you're interested in doing with the research, and then you're also able to look at the references of this article and the article that has referenced the current article. So I know in some databases like Google Scholar, you're able to see related articles, but this kind of gives a greater context of what this article referenced and the citations that this article was able to generate. And so another unique feature of Web of Science is you're able to analyze the results. So you're able to create visualizations of the results. And so from these 30,000 plus results, you're able to see within the search terms I used and within the results I was able to generate, what year was most of these articles published. And I think it's, you can see 2021, 2022. So if this is a useful tool for any sort of research project or visualization for a presentation or a presentation poster, you're able to download the information and use it for visualizations as well. And this is a very basic example for the purpose of this presentation, but there's more. You can create visualizations based on time, the authors, the most cited authors in the field, as well as what journals you could, so you can sort by journals as well. And Claravit, the publisher of Web of Science, creates journal citation reports. So these journal citation reports are basically determining the average time an article was cited within a journal. Articles within a journal are cited. So if you have a journal citation report, the journal citation port value is 4. That means within a journal, the articles that were published within a period of time have generated 4 citations. This is a useful metric, but I think I take it a little bit with a grain of salt, because It really depends on the field of study, what the type of study as well. And of course, there's larger factors such as funding and which university has different resources. You have presentation aids as well. These are great for poster presentations, case conferences, grand rounds. So they'll have some examples of different conditions. Clinical Key is it's similar to PubMed in which you can find articles, but there's also more resources like clinical overviews. There's clinical guidelines as well. And in the example for this slide, there's also links to medical procedures. So if you're doing a presentation and you need videos of medical procedures, this is a great resource. There's Dynamed, which is a prescription medication index. So there's a AZ index of prescription medications in which you can find information about the class, the toxicology. It has FDA approval as well. Dynamed is also great for clinical prescription medication calculator interactions. So you can see, you can enter the name of two prescription medications by their brand name or generic name, and you'll be able to see if there's a drug interaction. There's also Visual DX, which is a resource that's found on the top links of the website, or the Kornhauser Science website, and that has great information about dermatology and examples of dermatological conditions such as melanoma. And you're able to see the collection has a pretty good representation of the diversity of the patients we serve. So there's there's examples with different skin tones. Also, what's nice about Visual DX is that you can search by differentials. So if you're interested in, it's not a clinical guideline necessarily, but you're able to look up different conditions based on differentials, which is unique. There's Lexicomp too, which is a part of UpToDate, and UpToDate is a clinical point of care tool that has a very good synopsis of the diagnosis, the symptoms, and the prognosis of different conditions. So it's a very good summary. UpToDate also has great patient care, patient education pamphlets. So if you have a patient who has a question and you want some information that's in more accessible language, that would be a great resource as well. So we talked about all the great resources, but unfortunately, we don't have access to every book or article. So in that case, you'll be able to use interlibrary loan. So on the Kornhauser Health Sciences website, the interlibrary loan is under the search bar and it's to the left of the screen. So when you click on interlibrary loan, you'll be able to set up an interlibrary loan account. And this is different than your Ulink account. So you'll be able to access it through your email. And it just asks, when you register, it'll just ask some basic questions and give you some copyright information as well. And then you'll be able to enter your personal and departmental information to register for an account. If you're a provider and you don't have a Ulink account, you will still be able to access interlibrary loan, but you will have to pay for the materials that you order. We have a writing center at the University at Kornhauser Health Sciences Library. Here's the QR code if you're interested in any sort of academic writing research support. So even if they help you at every step of the writing process. So if you have ideas or you're interested in just brainstorming ideas, if you have a rough draft, they'll help you organize your ideas. And if you have a final draft, more of a polished, finalized paper, they'll help you as well. I've gotten some questions about manuscript support, and we do have librarians who have experience with manuscript support and formatting. So even if I can't answer your questions, I can definitely direct you to some of my colleagues who have more experience in manuscript support. We have EndNote as well, and this is found in the Help and Services tab on the library webpage, as well as the Neurology website webpage. So the Library Guide for Neurology has EndNote. And this is a citation management tool that helps you organize the citations you have in an article. So this is great if you're doing a systematic review or you want to organize the articles just in one place. And it helps you create a library in which you can have all the citations together. You can access the articles as well. And there's a feature in EndNote called Cite While You Write. So it helps you enter in the citations while you're writing the paper, which is really useful. There's tutorials on our webpage, so it shows you there's comprehensive guides about how to download EndNote and use EndNote. And there's also classes during the fall semester, there'll be monthly classes on how to use EndNote. We also have access to ORCID ID. So this is the link, library.louisville.edu ORCID. And this is a great resource. You create an account and you're able to put in it's almost like a resume for research. So you can enter in your research experience, any collaborations, any grants you've applied for. And then once you register with this account, you'll be able to, if you publish a paper, next to your name, there'll be almost like an asterisk, like a link, and you'll be able to, other researchers or collaborators will be able to be directed to that page with all of your research information. It's almost like a link to your research resume. And what's great about it is that regardless if you change schools or change institutions while you're doing research, you'll have a persistent identifier. Or if your name changes, you'll have that persistent identifier. I've heard it's kind of like a social security number for your research, but please don't share. I'm not advocating to share your social security number, but you can share your ORC ID. And then one more moment for the CME code. So the last part of the presentation, I want to talk about Rowntree Library. I'm the hospital librarian at Rowntree Library. Does everyone know we have a library in the hospital? Yes, a few people. Yes, that's good. So Rowntree Library is located in the ACB building. If you've ever been to the cafeteria of the hospital and you keep going through the doors into the left past medical records, you'll find Rowntree. If you have a University of Louisville health badge, you have 24/7 access to the library. If you don't, it's open from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. To patients and families, to healthcare workers. So everybody in the U of L health community is welcome at Rowntree. There's charging stations for smartphones and laptops. There's printing, scanning, computer workstations, and places to rest. There's a community book collection as well, so it's not like a traditional library where you have to check in or scan out books. And we accept donations for books as well. There's complimentary coffee when a librarian's on site, so we have a Keurig machine that's available to use during those hours when a librarian is present. So here's our hospital library page. It's similar to Rowntree with some of the resources, but there's also specific resources that are different from the Kornhauser library page. To access the page, you can click on the hospital library link on the Kornhauser Health Sciences page, or from this URL, library.louisville.edu/Kornhauser/ULH. You'll be able to access the resources and databases. So there's some overlap with the resources that are available, including those clinical point of care tools like UpToDate. You can also access PubMed and CINAHL for nursing as well. And one of the major services that we have on the library is literature searches and article requests. So if you click the request a service page on the left-hand side, you'll be directed to this form where you can fill out your departmental information, the specific article that you would need, and the time frame that you would need the article. So if you are doing any research and you encounter a paywall, please don't pay for the article. We can help you find the article or order it from another institution. And so it's a great resource if you are having some trouble accessing the articles. Additionally, we have literature requests. So this is when you're doing more of if you're doing a quality improvement project or you're just interested in this particular topic and you need more articles about it, we'll be able to access or conduct a literature search in which we find 10 or 15 articles on the subject that's most relevant or supports the best evidence. And so with this, you're able to specify the articles or the topic you would need. You could also enter the literature search as a PICO question. So if you have a particular research question, we can support finding articles for that question. And finally, we help with research consultation. So any of the articles or the databases at the library, if you have questions, we can set up a research consultation to help you with those, navigate those resources as well. So I know that was a lot of information, and the key takeaway is the library offers services, resources, and personnel support for your scholarly and evidence-based clinical practice. So thank you very much. Here's my contact information. And if you have any questions about finding articles or literature searches, please feel free to email us. We love your questions. And also, if you have any questions about the library resources as well. Thank you very much. I think it was just maybe speak a little louder. Yes. I think I'm not sure if there's particular there there is some not R or like Python in particular for statistical analysis on the Kornhauser Health Science Library page, but there's some general information under the evidence-based practice resources. So under those like by the neurology department, those specific point of care tools, you'll see like on the evidence-based practice page of the website, you'll see some resources on statistical or just statistics in general. But I know I saw at U of L today there was a tutorials on R. So there's a specific like R boot camp. Yes. Um, we we do help with systematic reviews, but more of the article, like finding the articles and synthesizing the evidence. I would ask, I would probably ask another librarian, like a clinical librarian at Kornhauser. Thank you. Any other questions? Yes. Thank you, Amy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So historic articles on like the history of medicine or um to search for historic articles, I would probably conduct the search string so on the topic that you would want to search, but then limit the dates to particular, like if it was within the past like 50 or 40 years. And you can do that. You can limit the dates on the Kornhauser Health Sciences website and PubMed as well. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, yeah. Actually, we do have a archivist at Kornhauser Health Science Library, Mary Kay Marlett. She would be able to answer your question. So we do have a medical library archives at Kornhauser. So I would reach out to the archivist if you're looking for 1800s because PubMed might not have that information as well. Thank you.